For this Thursday, and we have a most interesting person joining us.
Well, that's who we usually like to invite on our guests.
This is really kind of a neat story. Yep, kind of a neat story here. We have Tess Cacciatore, and yes, the chicken dish was named after her.
That's right.
Congratulations.
Wow, yes.
I'm that old too.
No, don't say that.
No. But that's how you introduce yourself to people, and that's an easy way for people to remember too. But you are here for a little more serious reason, and some people might think she was just involved in this program, just started with the GWEN network. Now, first of all, what is the GWEN network?
It stands for Global Women's Empowerment Network, and I also say we can't do GWEN without the men, because it's about transforming lives, and specifically about abuse. So we have a lot of serious topics that we deal with school bullying, domestic violence, human trafficking, date rape, etc. So we deal with transforming lives and really getting the statistics out there and educating the public of what's going on with women and with children and men.
Now, how long has the GWEN network been around?
We've been around about a year and a half now, but it started with me about 20 years ago, being in education, technology, and entertainment industry and philanthropy. So it has a technology. We have a mobile app that I wanted to talk to you about today.
Okay.
And I just want to say it's so great to be back in Iowa. I grew up here.
Yeah, you're a local gal.
Yes, I am a local girl.
We quizzed her when she came in. She goes, I'm a local gal from Iowa. Okay, where'd you go to high school?
Dowling High School.
Grammar school.
Elementary was Blackhurst and then St. Pius.
Okay, she is from here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
She's been dubbed. Okay, you are.
Just double checking.
I qualified myself. Just
okay, so
you know.
what are we going to talk about here now? Because you have something that's really kind of an interesting app that we mentioned.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, listen to that.
I have one of these too, so I'm going to go along with you.
Yes, everyone needs to download it, whether you're a man, woman, or child. It's called the GWEN Alert. You can load up to 5 of your trusted family friends, and if you're ever in danger, you push one button and it sends a text alert saying, I'm in trouble, I need your help with a GPS location. So they can find you. It's a breadcrumb, and it gives you the reiteration of 5 people calling 911 for you on your behalf.
That's huge.
Yes.
Okay.
So we need to get the word out and get everyone to download it, because it's good for young people that are in the summer concerts or domestic violence, online dating. The statistics of 1 in 4 young women going to college are sexually assaulted. So we want to get that statistic out there. So young girls that have just graduated from high school are entering into a whole new thing. I have twin nieces that are just going to be graduating in December. So I want to get the word out to families and to people and to young people to download the alert and use it as a safety tool.
So it is called the GWEN Alert?
Yes.
Okay, so you search
you can go to the
GWEN.
App Store.
Okay, search GWEN, and the GWEN Alert does pop up on here, and it's a free app too.
Yes,
That's something else you want to make sure you mention.
Absolutely, it's a free app.
Well, you're dealing with topics that are pretty deep and intense, but like you said, the statistics need to come out and people need to be aware that this does happen.
Well, we're here in Des Moines, Iowa, and in Iowa in general, people have this false sense of security in a way because it's such a wholesome place.
We're in Iowa. Yeah.
We're in Iowa, but 300,000 young people and children get abducted on an annual basis from the United States and thrown into sex trafficking and human trafficking. 300,000
in the United States.
And we think that that's happening overseas, but it's happening in our own backyard.
Wow.
That is absolutely incredible.
Now, we've had a couple of high-profile cases the last couple of years in Iowa of young girls being abducted, and unfortunately 3 of them lost their lives. 1 was able to escape, but you know, again, a false sense of security in Iowa. This to me, if I had young kids, would certainly be an app that I would have on their phone.
Yeah, we don't want to instill fear. We want to instill empowerment. That's why, you know, I want to be out there speaking on behalf of kids and women and domestic violence and human trafficking and all the things that happen. It's really about being empowered, making choices from your early age, having the self-confidence, building our children with self-confidence, and just even on every day, languaging with each other. How do you treat each other? How do you talk with each other? It's really about positive reinforcement, because if someone as a young person feels confident about themselves, they get a lot more aware of who they bring into their lives, who they end up dating, who they end up marrying, and that could decrease the statistics a lot.
Is the sex trafficking almost like an organized crime, or these big powerful organizations?
It's a $1 billion industry. $1 billion.
$1 billion with a B.
Yes.
And what happens to people that are abducted and taken? Where do they go?
We deal with a lot of women that are coming out to tell their stories. I can give you an example of a young woman that was taken from Oklahoma. She thought that she had a boyfriend, and he took her across state lines to meet her family, his family. Okay. Well, instead of going to meet the family, she was thrown into a warehouse with 35 other young children. The youngest was age 7. They had to sleep on mattresses in a warehouse with just a little bit of the door open for air. And they would be pulled out and thrown into situations that are horrific. And she was there for about a year, and then she turned of age and talked them into being one of the recruiters, you know, and she got smart, and that's how she was able to escape. But there's so many of these young people that can't escape.
Wow.
And they have
that's amazing.
And that happens right here in our country.
That happened right in Oklahoma. And I'm sure there's stories and statistics here too. I don't know the exact stories here, but these are just the types of the stories that we're dealing with. I have another young woman that I work with who's, well, when she was 4 years old, she was brutally raped by the men in her town. And that happened from 4 years old up until when she was in her 30s. And that happened in Iowa. The stepfather moved them to a farmland in Iowa. And when she told me this story, and I know we're getting really deep and gritty,
right.
This is a lighthearted show, but it really broke my heart because she said that they moved her to the farmland, a 90-acre farmland, because they didn't want the neighbors to hear them scream at night. And when she told me that, I got deep chills. And I said, this has to stop. I've luckily never had that situation. You know, we all have had forms of abuse. There's the silent abuses of the emotional and the verbal and all of that that we have to deal with on a daily basis, but nothing horrific like that. So I just want to be the voice of people that have had that happen to them.
Do you have any idea how many people you have helped so far? Do you have any clue?
I don't know, because it's a ripple effect. I don't really count the amount of people, because I just want to be one voice, and GWEN is a network that's growing, so everyone that can download the alert and support us and go to GWENnetwork.org, you can find out how to get involved, how to start a GWEN club. So that's another reason why I wanted to come here as well, is to talk about the GWEN clubs that are happening in the schools. So hopefully in the fall, somebody from Des Moines would be inspired to start a GWEN club, because then it starts to talk about the issues about date rape and school bullying and self-confidence, and really getting in line with what you want to do in your life. What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What are your dreams? And this was started, the GWEN clubs were started by 2 Los Angeles high school students on their own. They came to me and said, we want to start this club. And I said, that's fantastic. Go ahead and do it. I want to support you and mentor you of how you want to do it. So their formula is actually being replicated in other cities. And they raised $180 at a bake sale. And this Sunday, one of our young girls whose mother is dealing with breast cancer will go to our Agape Church summer camp, the youth camp. And it's, I think, saving her life and transforming her life, because here's a young girl dealing with her mother with breast cancer, and the GWEN Club, these young people did it on their own, has nothing to do with me, raised money for her to go to the camp. So those are the kind of things that we want to send out, and the rippling effect of making a difference.
Maybe somebody's watching, and maybe it's a kid, or maybe it's a woman who's in who's being abused now, and they feel like they're trapped and they're scared, and you know, what would you tell them if they're watching right now?
Well, I talk a lot about signs that you can look out for with domestic violence. If you're feeling like you're not being empowered, if you're feeling like you're isolated from your family and friends, if you feel like the behaviors of your partner have changed, no one's going to come out to you when you start dating and say, hi, I'm an abusive person. They start off as charismatic and supportive and loving, and then they slowly, you know, take you down that path. I use the example in the story of the frog in the water. Do you know that one? You know that one.
I know that one.
So there's, you imagine if you were an abusive person, you would never put a frog in a boiling pot of water, because the frog would jump out.
Right.
You put a frog in a cool water and turn the flame a little bit up, and it slowly boils, and to the point where then all of a sudden you're in this abusive relationship and you don't know it. So if you're feeling like your partner is not supportive of you, constantly puts you down, name calling, all of those things is emotional abuse. And those kind of things are the subtle ones, but that's what starts to trigger the self-confidence, and that's what starts to be able to allow for other abuses to come in your life.
So tell us again, you're here for a huge campaign, of course, GWEN, but this app, it's so easy to download, and everyone should get it.
If you have an iPhone or a Droid, you just go to your app store, and
there it is
then
again.
Yes. And what's really great about it, I love Gwen Stefani, I have to say. We used to have to say put Gwen alert, because otherwise Gwen Stefani would come in.
It did pop up. Gwen Stefani did stop up.
Gwen Stefani.
Yes, but we're on top of that.
You're ahead of it, though. Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it's because of shows like this that we get to get the word out. So I really appreciate, and it's great to be back in my hometown.
And how long are you going to be in town for?
I'll be here till Sunday.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, enjoy your stay.
Thank you.
And thank you for the information.
And congratulations on the show. It's really great.
Thank you.
I love that you guys have a local talk show. This is wonderful.
Well, it helps having fantastic guests like you come on our show as well.
Thank you.
They pay us every 2 weeks.
Really? That's more than
You get paid?
It's great. How about that? It's kind of a neat thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you
really
so
appreciate
much.
it.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back. This is a great day.